Good morning, students. Today, here we are going to discuss one of the important topic, stereoselective aldol reactions. Now, we have studied the aldol condensation reaction. It is a simple, the aldehyde or ketones having alpha hydrogen on a reaction with the base. First, there is a formation of enolate by abstraction of alpha hydrogen atom from that particular aldehyde or ketone, and that enolate reacts with the another molecule of the same aldehyde or ketone or the different aldehyde or ketone to form beta hydroxy ketone or aldehyde, which is generally called as the aldol. Now here, when there is a formation of aldol takes place, initially the aldehyde or ketone molecule which undergoing the aldol condensation, both are achiral molecules. They either they are the same two molecules of aldehyde or ketone, or there is a reaction between the two different aldehyde or ketone molecules. The aldol or ketol form is a chiral with two chiral centers, and there is a formation of two diastereomeric products, that is either syn or anti. Now we are going to study in details how to control the stereoselectivity or the diastereoselectivity of that aldol formed after the reaction. This is the stereoselective aldol reactions. Now here we see in details. Now any aldehyde or ketone having that alpha hydrogen atom, when reacted with the base, there is a formation of simple enolate, and that enolate having the two possible geometries, either cis or trans, and the geometry of enolate is important for the generation of either syn or anti aldol. Now this enolate formed reacts with the another molecule of aldehyde or ketone. There is a formation of this six member transition state, and through that six member transition state, that bond reorganization takes place, and there is a formation of this beta hydroxy ketone or aldehyde, which is generally called as aldol or the ketol. Now here, that generation of two chiral centers I have shown here, that is the orientation of this hydroxyl group and this alkyl group present onto adjacent chiral centers. Now these two adjacent chiral centers, this wavy line indicates they have either alpha or beta orientation. Now depending upon the orientation with respect to each other, if both have same orientation, either both are alpha or both are beta, that product is called as syn aldol, or if they have the different orientation, then it is called as the anti aldol. Now, how will we control this diastereoselectivity or a specific formation of syn aldol or the anti-aldol? Now, we will see in details. Here, first there is any aldehyde or ketone on reaction with the base. There is a formation of enolate. Now, here the enolate may be cis or trans. Here we are first taking the cis enolate. When this react with the aldehyde, this general aldehyde, there is a formation of, or there is an attack of that enolate on that carbonyl carbon, and this reaction proceed through the six member transition state. How there is a formation of six member transition state takes place? That lithium, which is first stabilizing the oxyanion of enolate, it gets shifted towards the oxyanion of aldehyde molecule after the attack of enolate on that aldehyde. Now here the six member transition state formation is shown here. Now this is the enolate part, the dotted bond shown here, the bonds which are forming or breaking, and the bonds which are not undergoing change, they shown by the thick lines. Now this is the enolate part. This metal ion first is coordinated with the oxygen from enolate, then there is an attack of that enolate carbon with that carbonyl carbon of aldehyde, the double bond opens, and then it coordinated with the metal ion. Now here this orange part, that is the new carbon carbon bond formation takes place here, and that carbon carbon bond formation, and here in the next step these bonds is formed, and this is the six member transition state get converted into the product. Now this metal ion, which is initially coordinated with oxyanion of enolate, now get coordinated with that aldol oxygen, and here the orientation of this methyl and this O is coordinated with metal. In the next step, after hydrolysis, this get converted into the OH. Now here in this chair conformation or this conformation of the product, this methyl is alpha oriented and this is OH is also alpha oriented. Therefore, if you write the planar structure for this product, then this methyl is alpha oriented and this OH is alpha oriented, means both have the same orientation, both are alpha. And if we take the another chair conformation, we got the both are beta, means here when there is a cis enolate is used, we got the syn aldol as the product. Now how we'll discuss for the trans also in the next slide. Here the trans enolate, if there is a formation of trans enolate and this trans enolate attacks on the aldehyde molecule, there is an attack of that enolate carbon on that aldehyde, and there is a formation of this 6-member transition state. Now see this 6-member transition state. Now this chair conformation draw to maintain the trans geometry of enolate. Now this is the attacking carbon of enolate on that carbonyl carbon. There is a opening of carbon oxygen double bond of that aldehyde molecule. This get coordinated with metal, means this metal gets shifted from this enolate oxygen to this aldol oxygen atom, and here the new carbon carbon bond formed, and this is shown by this state. And now here we can see in this chair like transition state there is a methyl group having this alpha orientation, and this is new generated hydroxyl group after the hydrolysis, this having the beta orientation. Now this is alpha and this is beta, and therefore the in the planar structure the orientation of methyl group and this hydroxyl group is opposite to each other, and this is called as the anti-aldol, means the orientation of this methyl and hydroxyl is opposite with respect to each other, they are anti to each other, therefore it is called as a anti-aldol. Okay, now you see in details or further, this is the enolate, this is attacking with this benzaldehyde molecule, and that benzaldehyde molecule first this is 6-member transition state formation, and which is converted into the chair conformation, just we have discussed in the earlier slide also. And here this is a bond for carbon carbon bond formation, the condensation reaction, and in the after condensation in the chair conformation the orientation of the group, that is methyl and hydroxy, that is new generated chiral center, here in this conformation that is alpha, therefore the syn product is formed. And same with this is trans also, if you go through that reaction, trans enolate benzaldehyde, this formation of this 6-member transition state, and after the bond formation there is a formation of this transition state, and in this conformation we see that methyl is beta and hydroxyl is alpha. Here there is a anti-stereochemistry of this methyl and hydroxyl with respect to each other, means here from these two reactions it is confirmed that the Z enolate gives the syn aldol and E enolate gives the anti-aldol. You have to write the proper chair conformation for that, and according to that chair conformation we have to write the product formed in the chair conformation and what is the orientation of that substituent present on new generated chiral center. If both have the same orientation, either alpha or beta, then it is a syn aldol, and if both have the different orientation, then it is an anti-aldol, and that can be achieved by using the geometry of enolate. Z enolate gives syn aldol, E enolate gives anti-aldol. Now we see the further examples here. Now this is the cyclohexanone reacted with the LDA. LDA is a strong base, abstract the alpha proton, there is a conversion into the trans enolate. Now there is no formation of cis enolate because it is the ring structure, and there is a carbon carbon bond rotation is restricted, therefore this trans enolate formation. And as trans enolate, this reacted with this propanaldehyde molecule, that alpha carbon of cyclohexanone carbonyl is attacks on this aldehydic carbonyl carbon, and there is a conversion of that carbonyl into hydroxyl, and there is formation of this beta hydroxy ketone, and that beta hydroxy ketone, as it is a trans enolate, there is a formation of anti-aldol as a major product. There is a formation of both, but preferential formation of anti-aldol because of the trans enolate. Okay, same example another, there is a this is the aldehyde ketone molecule, and this with the alpha hydrogen atom LDA, this forms the enolate, and now here the cis enolate. Now we can understand how it is cis and how it is trans, that we already discussed in the last lecture also, that is chiral auxiliary, that is alkylation of chiral enolate. Here this attacks on this aldehydic carbonyl carbon, and now here as it is a cis-enolate, there is a formation of both the product anti and syn aldol, but here the preferential formation of syn aldol means syn aldol is the major product because of the cis-enolate. Okay, next one, there is another examples, cyclopentanone LDA again cyclic, therefore trans-enolate formation, and as trans-enolate is reacted with the this butanol molecule or the butanaldehyde, this gives the formation of this anti-aldol as a major product because of the trans-enolate formation. Then bulky R group can drive cis-enolate formation. मतलब bulkier alkyl group जर opposite side ला present असेल, that can forms the cis-enolate. How that cis-enolate formation? LD abstract this one, and there is a, when trans-enolate formation takes place, there is a steric crowding takes place, and because of that there is a preferential formation of cis-enolate, and we, as we know that the cis-enolate on reaction with the another molecule of aldehyde or ketone is preferential formation of syn aldol. Therefore this is the controlled aldol condensation reaction because of the geometry of the enolate, and therefore it becomes the stereoselective aldol condensation reaction. Selectively forms either syn aldol or the anti-aldol, depends upon the geometry of enolate. Treatment with bulky boron reagent that attached to the enolate oxygen atom drives formation of a trans boron enolate, and as trans boron enolate there must be formation of anti-aldol. Now see this is the simple ketone, there is a boron in presence of this triethylamine, this get coordinated here, and because of that triethylamine there is abstraction of hydrogen, and there is a, that boron stabilizes that oxyanion form, that is the enolate ion. This enolate ion reacts with this aldehyde molecule, and as the geometry of this enolate is trans, there is a formation of anti-aldol. Okay, the main part to remember is the geometry of enolate. There may be the different structures of substrate molecule, different coordinating agents are used. Generally in the base there is a metal ion is used, and here there is a this boron which get coordinated with the oxygen ion, but the product form that depends upon the geometry of enolate, trans-enolate, anti-aldol formation takes place. Now there is another example. Now this is chiral auxiliary attached carbonyl. Now we have already studied this in the chiral auxiliary, how to attach the chiral auxiliary and the made substrate chiral. Then there is a this isopropyl and this diethyl. This group are there, means diethyl isopropylamine. This is the dibutyl boron triplet, that is the solvating agent or the coordinating agent used for the stabilization of anions generated. There is a formation of the enolate first, and this reacted with the benzaldehyde. Now which enolate get forms? Now this chiral auxiliary controls the geometry of enolate, here the cis-enolate formation, and that gives the syn aldol as a product. How this takes place? Now you see in the next slide, there is a formation of enolate which is the cis-enolate. Why not trans-enolate? Because of this isopropyl group, steric crowding involves in the trans-enolate formation, therefore preferential formation of cis-enolate. This enolate reacts with benzaldehyde, that benzaldehyde get coordinated, we can draw the different transition states here, and as the geometry of enolate is cis, there is a formation of syn aldol. Now see here, there is a formation of this transition state, and this get converted into the cis or the syn aldol, that is the syn isomer is formed in the preferential amount, and which is chiral auxiliary is attached, and in the last step we can remove the chiral auxiliary. There is another one example, that chiral auxiliary attached carbonyl compound then act with the reaction with the base and the solvating agent. There is a formation of enolate. This is a transition state formed here. This is just for the information, and then this is alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. This enolate form reacts with this aldehyde. Just we have to concentrate on which what is the geometry of enolate form. It is cis, then there is a formation of syn aldol as a product, and there is a 92% yield of the product, but 100% diastereomeric excess, means selectively only one diastereomer is formed, therefore it is a 100% diastereomeric excess. There is another one example, just there is a change in the structure of the reactant and reagent molecules. The reaction is same. Now here again there is a enolate formation in the first step by action of this triethylamine, and this is dibutyl boron triplet. There is a preferential formation of again cis-enolate. This react with this aldehyde molecule, and as there is cis-enolate formation, there is a formation of syn aldol, and with the 100% enantiomeric excess, this is controlled by that chiral auxiliary. This is about the stereoselective aldol condensation reaction. Thank you. Good day all. Bye bye.